Hi guys, welcome to episode 45 of Notable Needlework. I am Kate, Notable Needle, N-O-T-E-A-B-L-E on Ravelry, on Plurk, and on Twitter. The blog, if you are watching this on iTunes, is at notableneedlework.blogspot.com. There is a Ravelry group for the podcast, Notable Needlework Podcast. Feel free to join and introduce yourself. I may be coughing a bit. I got something down the wrong pipe a little bit ago and it seems to still be bothering me. But I didn't want to wait too late to record tonight. So, first week of classes is done, and it actually went surprisingly well. I'm pretty psyched with how everything turned out. I also have 9 million objects on the needles. This one's definitely going to be called Socks Galore or something like that. Because there are a lot of socks. There's a lot of everything else too, but lots of socks. So, I will start with the things you have already seen, which are not socks. The first is the Even Star shawl, which has received, I don't know, like 5 minutes of love this week, and they were all today. This way's the right side. So I was working on it a little bit today. I've been working on just socks and other things that I wanted to get done that were not this, but right now I just finished row 37 of chart 2, and I transferred them to the Knit Picks needles instead of the 47-inch Chow Goos that I had. I am doing this on a US size 4 instead of a US 3 because I can use the interchangeables, and of course I wound up only using the largest size of the interchangeables, but evidently you can use them to easily thread lifelines through, and I'm probably going to do that in chart 3 and possibly when I get to row like 42 or something on this chart, because I'm pretty sure I understand what some of these symbols mean, but I'm going to double check and put in lifelines just in case. Just in case. So this is out of Elegant Yarns Athena, which is their 100% merino lace weight in colorway number 203. And it's coming along. Again, I'm going to do the edge beaded. I am just waiting to order the beads until I get closer to the edging. I had been thinking about, while I was waiting for the needles to come, which took forever, by the way, I was figuring out ways to do, instead of doing the border not quite separate because you're incorporating the edge stitching, the edge stitches in while you're knitting it, but instead doing it straight from it without having to do the grafting and such. I realized why people weren't doing that, and it's because it would involve binding off like several thousand stitches if you're gonna do it with the wavy border like the pattern calls for. And yeah, I would much rather go through and pick up the stitches as I'm grafting along than bind off several thousand stitches at a time, because that would probably take me like a week, because I can't just sit there and bind off stitches. It doesn't work. So that's the Even Star. I apologize right now, this may be a longer episode because there is a lot of stuff that I want to show. That's all Even Star. Making sure I'm not picking up other projects too. Brittany's Stethoscope Cozy has not gotten pretty much any love. It's, yeah. This is Shibui Knit Sock in the Zinnia, no, not the Zinnias. That was the other one. The anime colorway on US size 3s, and it's coming along. I really do need to start working on that. I think this might be the one that I bring to class with me this week. All 2 days that I'm there. Let's see, that's spinning. Oh, those are socks. I have Will's Christmas present house socks. These are just your basic top-down stockinette socks. 64 stitches on a US size 2, and this is Knit Picks hand-painted, Stroll hand-painted in the Tree Fort colorway. I finished the leg, turned the heel, picked up, and excuse me, oh my gosh, and decreased the gusset. And I've completely decreased the gusset, so I just have the stockinette foot to do at this point. And we'll see how that goes. It won't take that much longer to do the foot because he has the same size feet that I do, and we both like our socks on the smaller side because they do wind up blocking out a bit as we wear them. So it shouldn't take too much longer. If I worked on it solid, I could probably have them done in a day. If I just work tomorrow on them and nothing else, I could probably have them done tomorrow. We'll see whether that happens or not. I might do that because Will and I are home together tomorrow, and I like having mindless stuff to work on when he's here. And then I can work on Even Star on Thursday and Friday when he's not here and I'm home. I'll go into that when I talk about nursing school. But those are Will's socks. And then I have the Skew socks. I absolutely, it's backwards. I absolutely adored these socks. This is the Three Irish Girls Adorned sock in the estuary colorway. And you can see the socks are knit on the bias, and it has that cool origami heel. Granted, these are 2.5 sizes too big for my feet, but I was trying them on anyway. I love the way the heel fits. I love the way the heel fits. I love the way they look. I'm definitely going to be using some of my Christmas yarn and doing this pattern for me. I think I saw a version that was done with the Knit Picks self-striping, and it looks amazing because it is knit on the bias, so you get the stripes. Yeah, anyways, these are almost entirely done. I am waiting to do the ribbing on top and bind off. The pattern recommends doing a size smaller, and since I'm already doing the pattern a size larger needle, I'm definitely going to be doing a size smaller ribbing. The main reason I don't usually do toe-up socks is because of the ribbing and bind-off. So we'll see how that goes. I'm going to try doing the Jenny's Surprisingly Stretchy bind-off and see if that works. Here's hoping. But they're all done except for that. So I ordered 2 pairs of Chow Goos, one size US 1, one size US 0, because I don't have any size 0 needles, and the only size ones I have are double points, and double points and I don't get along very well unless it's like a hat. Anyways, those are the Skew socks for Donnie. I've been posting pictures of them and sending them to him, and he's super excited about that. And my other friend is still planning on stealing them from him. I will say real quick, I do have a finished object, and I can't show you. It was the mystery test knit of the February knit along solid sock group on Ravelry pattern, which I think that's about all I can say. I don't think I'm supposed to say the theme or whatnot, but I like the pattern very much. I plan on doing the socks again. I did it out of Malabrigo sock yarn, and I'm not sure what it was about the yarn. The pattern was very well written. There were just a couple errors that I had to catch, and she's fixed them. I'm not sure what it was about the yarn, but something didn't look quite right. It wasn't showing the stitches. So besides the fact that it's a mystery text knit, y'all can't see it either because I actually completely frogged it. I Kitchenered the toe with scrap yarn so I didn't have to cut the yarn, and then after I took the pictures, I completely frogged it. There were many errors on my part in the pattern. I didn't like the way that the yarn looked with the pattern, and when I do it again, I think I can say that there's a beaded option and a bobble option. If you're doing the sock, do the beads. Just trust me, do the beads. I was testing the bobbles option, and I don't think it works with the theme. I know that she put the option in because some people don't like beads on socks, don't like beading in general. Do the beads. Even if you think you don't like beads, do the beads. So that was another reason I frogged it. So that yarn will be getting a new life at some point. Right now it's just in a ball in the stash because I'm lazy like that. So that's the other reason you can't see it, because it doesn't exist anymore. My last work in progress. I'm going to show in a little bit when I talk more about what's coming up, because it has to do with that. And for those of you on Plurk, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Oh, Lord. Okay. Wow. I'm going to try and make this as quick as possible so I don't die in front of you on camera. Spinning, I still am doing the chocolate covered cherries. It's Serenity stitches. They're luxury roving in the chocolate covered cherries colorway, which is about a fingering weight, a very light fingering in some spots. And I think the reason I haven't done that much more on the spinning is I'm now debating whether I want to ply it or whether I want to just use it as a single. I had been planning on plying it. I divided it in half exactly so that I could ply it, and now I'm considering using it as a single. It's really well spun, and I know that that means that it will ply well too, but I can't decide. So I am asking you what you guys think. Leave a comment on the blog, or put something on the group in Ravelry, or send me something on Plurk. I don't know. I think I'm also going to put something on Plurk asking my Plurk friends who maybe don't watch the podcast what they think. Either way, I'm going to finish the rest of the first 2 ounces before I can make any sort of decision anyway, so I will be spinning this. We'll see how my mood goes, whether I'm in a spinning mood or a knitting mood for the rest of the week. Okay, so aside from my one mystery works in progress, that is it for right now. So I'm gonna show and talk about what's coming up. So, what is coming up also has to do with this work in progress, which those of you on Plurk know about. Well, most of you on Plurk anyway. These are the cuffs for the Monkey Socks by Cookie A. I'm doing them on a US size 2, but the smaller version of the pattern, the 64 stitches. Out of Sweet Georgia Tough Love Sock, which is 80% superwash, 20% nylon. And this is the yarn I got for Christmas that's dyed the colorway is dyed exclusively for the store Twist Yarns of Intrigue in Manhattan Beach. You can order from them online and they will ship it to you, or you can pick it up in the store if that's where you are. They have, I believe, 8 unique colorways to the shop. This was hands down my favorite. And I believe it's twistyarns.com. There's a group on Ravelry and it talks about that, and on their website, I believe they show what's in stock. It's not a buy direct from the website. It's filling out a form saying what you're interested in, and you can either say, let me know when it comes in, or I for sure want to buy it, and then they talk to you that way. But this is the Venice colorway. The browns are not showing up well at all, and the browns are actually one of my favorite parts. Let's see if it shows up better on one of the balls. Is that gonna... No, it's showing up like way more green. The fuchsia and the blues, both the turquoise and the like cerulean blue, are showing up pretty true to color. But there are also 2 shades of browns. There's a what would you call that? Like a deep chestnut brown, and then a lighter, almost taupe. And it's not showing up, and that makes me so sad because this yarn is absolutely gorgeous. The camera is not doing it justice, and stunning is like an understatement. I love the way that these are working up, and I wish that they showed up better on the webcam, but they're not. Anyways, these are the monkey socks, and thanks to an overwhelmingly positive response on Plurk, I am going to be hosting a knit along for the monkey socks. If you have not seen the monkey socks before, okay, it's one version of the pattern is in Knit Sock Love, which if you have in your library, you can check on, like, from the book. There is also a no purl version, which is by Crafty Monkey, or Crafty Pancakes on Ravelry, and it is free. The actual monkey pattern on Ravelry is $6, but the no purl pattern, she shows you the chart for the no purl version and links to when the pattern was in Knitty, so you can get it for free. And I posted links to that. It is a fantastic way to use up variegated yarns, like that crazy skein of hand painted that you don't know what to do with. It is fantastic for showing those off, but it is also good in semi-solids, which the Cookie A pattern shows in spades. It actually looks really good in solid yarn as well. It's just an all-around awesome pattern. If you have stock yarn in your stash that you were trying to figure out a way to use up, then knit along with us. I know there's a lot of people who have knit several pairs of the socks and will be knitting along. There's a couple people who have said, oh, I've wanted to knit this and this is just the push I need. I hope you're in that camp. If you've never considered knitting it, I hope that you will consider knitting it with us. I am saying that the timeline is whenever you first hear about the knit along to February 20, no, I said March 1st. March 1st of this year, obviously, for the knit along. The main reason behind my deadline is so that you will have more than enough time to post it in the Knit One Heart 2's sock knit along that they are doing in theirs. And theirs can be any pattern, so you'll just have another pair of socks that you can post in there too. I am not opposed to double dipping. More power to you if you can get a prize there or here, whatever. So hopefully there will be quite a few people knitting along. The socks are awesome. They really are. It's a very straightforward pattern, easy to memorize, and it looks fantastic. So even if you're a beginning sock knitter, I would definitely say go for it. And if you can't fit in the time to do the monkey socks between now and March 1st, do not fret. I am already planning a knit along from March to the end of April, which will just be a general Cookie A knit along. So you can knit the monkeys then, or you can knit any one of her patterns. Then I already have a couple that I'm planning on doing. If I don't finish them before the knit along starts, I'll be doing them with the knit along in March. So yeah, hopefully that will go over well. I do have a couple skeins picked out for prizes, and right now I'm gonna say I'm gonna pick one winner, and you will get your choice of a few skeins of Cascade Heritage sock yarn that I have in my stash. They're just solid colors, mostly because I accidentally ordered a couple when I got the Volmeise that I told you about last week, that I didn't realize were still in my cart. So right now it's one winner. If we have a lot of people knit along, I will probably expand that, because if there's a lot of people knitting along, I want to give more people the chance to win prizes, because winning prizes on podcasts is cool. On a related note, what's new, 2 of the skeins will be in the options of ones that you can choose. I don't want someone to get stuck with a color that they either already have or don't like. So I have pictures of 3 skeins up in the thread on Ravelry, and you can check those out. I may be adding to those. I'm just going through and figuring out what I for sure want to knit out of, and then what I would be willing to part with. So what's new? I have quite a bit of yarn that came in. Some was from Knit Picks with my needle tips, and then some was an accident with the Volmeise. I actually have a rainbow of yarns. I took a picture of it. I did not plan on it being a rainbow of yarns. There's 3 skeins of Cascade Heritage. I'm going to have them out of order. I believe this one was True Red, which is showing up way more orange on the screen right now. But it's a legitimate True Red. That's a little closer to what it actually looks like. It's showing up really orange. But there's the True Red. I know this is Mango. Now this is showing up way too yellow. That's about right. That's about the right color. This is one of the skeins that will be available for you to pick from. The other 2 are not here. It's the Zinnias, which actually looks like what this is showing up as. It's that sort of dark coral color almost. And then the other one is Pine, which is a forest green. I have 2 skeins of Knit Picks Stroll in the Dandelion colorway. It's not quite a Dayglow yellow like it's showing up. It's got the tiniest bit of orange, a tiny bit of mustard yellow. And then of course the skein that started it all. The Volmisa. And this is actually showing up pretty true to color. It's pretty fluorescent. And this was with I caught the update at the Loopy U and I used the credit so it doesn't count as breaking the yarn diet, and the fact that the other 3 skeins happen to be in my cart make it not count towards breaking the yarn diet. And then these were actually ordered before the new year started and they just got here. Yeah. Anyways. Justifying. Rationalizing, what have you. This is Volmisa 100% Superwash in the Wasabi colorway. And right now I'm planning on using this to make the Denature socks, and because there's like 575 yards, I'm thinking about making the Denature's knee highs instead of just the mid-calf socks that it's written as. So hopefully that'll work and it'll be awesome and cool. And then the last skein is another skein of Cascade Heritage sock yarn in the Anise colorway. And that's pretty accurate. So that's it for new items. I checked out a couple books from the library and I don't really feel like they're worth showing. A lot of them were ways to use up leftover yarn type books, and I really didn't find anything that I would want to make out of them. I think the only one I saw, which I would just make up a pattern myself, is for a little sachet that you then fill with lavender that you keep with your yarn to keep gubbas away, moths and what have you away from your yarn, which I will definitely do. I do have enough leftovers in especially worsted weight that wouldn't really be much use for anything, so I can do that. For those of you who play video games or have significant others who play video games, Will has been playing Skyrim a lot recently, and if you play Skyrim or know about Skyrim, one of the things that you can do is make potions, and I guess you can just forage around for different ingredients, and one of the ingredients is lavender. And so apparently from the game, Will always know what lavender looks like, and has stated that he wants to have some in our garden when we have a garden, which I fully agree with. I love lavender, and I just thought that was hilarious. Now whenever we see it, he points it out. Anyways, and then the other book that I got was the One Skein Wonders, the sock yarn. I have a couple patterns postmarked in them, or post-it note marked. But realistically, I don't think I'm actually going to knit any of them, because as of right now, I really just want to knit socks with my sock yarn. With a few exceptions. But yeah, I just want to make socks. Anyways, that's it for knitting. So if you're only here for the knitting, I will see you next week, and sign up for you don't have to sign up, but participate in the Monkey Sock Knit Along. And I'll see you next week. Nursing school. Yay, nursing school. I finished my first week of classes. It went extraordinarily well. I, again, have OB, which is labor and delivery and newborns, psych and pharmacology this semester. And all of the classes went well. We had clinical sign-ups. They explained it to us on Monday. We signed up on Tuesday, and they were supposed to tell us on Thursday. Yeah, they told us on Friday afternoon. Um, but even though, okay, so I realize that you can't read anything on the sheet, but I figure I'll show you just so you can understand some of the confusion that I had. Okay, so what they did was they gave us this packet of paper. I don't know if you can see this, but what it has is the location, the day, and what shift you're signing up for clinicals. So you know all of the options that you would have. This one's for OB. And then the way that the website was laid out was that each of the day, time, locations were assigned a date and a time. Mind you, this is not the day or time that you start. This is just an arbitrary day and time that the computer has. So, yeah, I know you can't read, but I think that's Tuesday's UAB day shift is you would sign up for Tuesday the 17th from 6:30 to 3 p.m. So what you see on the website are these dates. You don't see the location, you don't see the day, you don't see the time. You just see the dates. When you're signing up, you have to look at the website, see what times, what days. I don't know if the camera's doing this. You have to look. Are you gonna focus now? No. No, of course not. Haha, I tricked it. You have to look on the screen, see what day still has slots available, then look at your sheet, see if that's the time that you want, and then sign up for it. The only problem with this... Okay, have y'all ever tried to catch a FiberNinf update? It was worse than that. It was 104 students all logging on to the same website trying to get a spot in a clinical and having to compare between the date. It was horrible. We were encouraged to pick 3 choices. I didn't get any of them. To make things worse, we had to sign up for site clinicals as well. We had to make sure that the dates weren't the same. Like, we didn't sign up for Tuesday's OB and Tuesday's site. And there were some are for the first half of the semester and some are for the second half of the semester. It was a small nightmare. Quite honestly, I would almost have preferred that they just assign us a time. It was awful. That being said, I actually lucked out in not so much the clinical locations or times or what have you, but in my clinical groups. I know people in both clinical groups. I'm super excited to be with them. I'm with one of my best friends here, who is the guy I made the LSU hat with the beanie, the beard, who wears it all the time since it's been so cold out. I'm with him for psych. I will hopefully be keeping him from saying something really stupid in front of psych patients. Yeah. And then for OB, I have one of the guys I was in clinical with last semester, who reminds me a lot of my little brother. I'm with one of my friends, Christian, who I made these self-striping socks for her grandmother's last semester. And then I'm with another one of my friends in OB, and that's for the entire semester. I'm actually really excited about that. I'm doing Thursday days, like 8 to 5-ish, and then Friday night, and that's for the second half of the semester. And then for OB, it's Friday. It says nights, but it's 3 to 11, so it's really not that bad. I'm actually sort of excited about that because with the Friday nights, I don't have to go to bed at 8 o'clock. And when I come home at, say, 11:30, Will still be awake. It's not like I'm coming home at 3 in the morning or something like that. It's 11. It's not that bad. That being said, Addie has already demanded that I MapQuest the directions between all of my clinical sites and Brookwood, which is where she's having the twins, which I've already done. So in response, I told her, well, you have to make sure that you have the kids on a Tuesday or the weekends, which she laughed about. Honestly, if I were to have my say in this, she would go into labor on like Friday afternoon. These are her first twins, so we already know her labor is going to last a while. If she started like the beginning stages of labor on Friday night and I was able to go there after my clinicals when things would actually be starting to happen, and then we would have that weekend to like just chill with them, that would be awesome. Or like, no, right before spring break would be too early for them because their original due date was April 7th, and spring break is like the 17th of March, so that would be a little early. But yeah, those twins better figure out a way that we actually get to spend time with them and I don't have to be going back to class when they're babies. Actually, having them be born on a Tuesday and then having... No, I'd still have class on Wednesday. Never mind. It won't matter. They'll come whenever they feel like it. But that would be cool. If they could somehow work out that schedule, that would be awesome. But lectures this week were good. We had a couple extra days of class. Instead of boot camp, we have boot lab before our OB clinicals start. So this week we learned about breastfeeding and about newborn assessment, and how to tell if a baby's preterm, post-term, or just right. I called it Goldilocks. And then we'll be learning IVs this coming week, I believe. So Addie and I were joking that between my classes and her prenatal classes, these are going to be the best taken care of babies ever. Realistically though, a lot of our work this semester is, we had a lecture on the different roles of the nurse, and for this semester it's as an educator to new parents, just about what to expect with their baby, teaching how to breastfeed, the benefits of it, what to expect during labor, etc. And then as a counselor for psych, where it's just offering yourself therapeutic communication. There's not a lot of full caregiving in the psych wards that we will be working in. So yeah, that's it for nursing school. There's not really a whole lot else going on. The only unfortunate thing was that yesterday, during my DAR meeting, our guest speaker was a man who organizes a couple, it's not quite homeless shelters. What he did was he fixed up a few houses here in Birmingham, and they serve as a home / halfway house, what have you, for homeless veterans. And that was actually how I found out that one of my patients passed away a couple days after I was with him. If you watch, it was my patient who I got to go into surgery with, but who had stage 4 lung cancer. And we figured it was maybe about 3 weeks. Evidently it was a lot less than that. But I got to talk to the man who runs the shelter, because he had mentioned my patient by name, which is how I knew that it was my patient. I got to talk to him a little bit afterwards and sort of ask about my patient's last couple days. He got to go home for a night. I use the term home somewhat loosely, but he was happy, and that's all I can ask. It's just sort of sad. There's a couple patients that were on our floor that I sort of knew had passed away, because other people in my clinical group had said, oh, you know, this patient, I heard that they passed away. And it's a little different when it's your patient, but such is life. I am glad to know that he had his own version of family, and that he got to be with them before he passed away. And oh, that actually relates to my other non-nursing or knitting related topic. Evidently he was buried in a Alabama shirt with his Alabama ball cap, because he was a huge Alabama fan. And if you watch football, you saw that we have yet another national championship. It's the 14th for Alabama, and it's 3rd year in a row that the championship has been in the state of Alabama. So woohoo! Evidently we're good luck charms, because all those have happened since we decided to come here. So I wasn't podcasting when we were choosing nursing schools, but the two that I was between were the University of Texas at Austin and the University of Alabama at Birmingham. And for the 2010 season, no, must have been 2009. Yeah, the 2009 season, the championship game was between Texas and Alabama. Granted, it was not Alabama at Birmingham. It was University of Alabama at Tuscaloosa. But I got to pretend that they were fighting for my love. And Alabama won. No, that was not how I decided to come here. But I just thought it was funny. I had really already decided that I wanted to come here. So that's about it. Roll Tide, and I hope that y'all are having a good week. It has been frightfully cold here, and it's supposed to be warming up. I hope it's not too cold where you are. And go pick out your sock yarn for the monkey knit along. Bye guys.